Welcome to Livingston, our podcast where we invite local businesses, people, and organizations to talk about what they are giving to our community.
As real estate professionals with the Putella Group, we bring valuable insight into the local market and community every week.
Thanks for listening, and welcome to Livingston. Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of the Welcome to Livingston podcast. My name is Don Putella.
And I'm Angela Putella, and we're with the Putella Group Real Estate Professionals. And this podcast has been brought to you by Jim Paquette at Lake Michigan Credit Union.
Yes, and he does a great job.
Yes, we appreciate his support. We really trust him with our clients. He does such great work.
Yes. And so today's episode, just the two of us.
Yes, most of the time we have small businesses on or nonprofits or whatnot, really supporting a lot of these entities in our community to build them up. But every now and again, we have just us.
Yes, and so we are realtors by trade, own our own brokerage. That's what we do. Outside of this is our passion project. But, being able to talk about real estate sometimes and just giving people a little bit of an insight to what's going on or how to prepare for something is really good. So today's
educating,
episode,
right?
Yeah. The whole education aspect, because, when someone's going in to buy a house or sell a house, they have a lot of questions, right? And for the seller, there's just a ton of things that they could stress about, that they don't need to be stressing about, that we were hoping to give them a little bit of insight on a particular portion of getting your home ready to sell. That's really important.
Yes. So today is talking all about photo day. And when you're listing your home, you get photos taken, right? So for our clients, we hire professional photography. And
that's not always the case with all realtors, right?
Right.
Some realtors will just come in with their iPhone and they may take okay pictures. They may take amazing pictures, right? Yeah. But having a professional that comes in, that this is their job, this is what they do every day. And we can talk about some of the different aspects of what makes a photo company special.
Right.
We just feel that bringing in a professional and giving the best possible experience for photo day to just highlight your house is important.
Because for the sale of a home, it starts online, right? That's how people search, and it starts with the photos. So that's why it's so important. A lot of times I liken it to maybe some of the dating apps that younger people use, right? That it's just the right lighting, just the right angle.
Right.
It makes
swipe
it look
left
perfect.
or swipe right.
Sure. But because of that, that's why your house has to look at its absolute best. And that's why photo day is important and having a professional.
Right. So, we sit down with someone. They're like, hey, I want to sell my house. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have a conversation with them. Where do you want to start in terms of, hey, photo day is coming up, prepping for photo day?
And we definitely customize the experience, and we'll instruct them on the different things we see specific to their home. But in general, thinking about the prep beforehand, a lot of the things, so we'll go through some of the things that are pretty common that we mentioned to most of our sellers. A lot of times as they give us a tour, they talk about some of the repairs that they have on their radar prior to selling the home.
Right. Yeah. So some of them, when we walk through a house, one of the things we do is we'll make a punch list for our clients, and we'll say, hey, these are the items that we think you need to take care of prior to selling the house, prior to photo day. These are the must ones, and then there's that second layer of like, hey, these might be really good, but let's have a discussion. Are we going to do it? Are we not going to do it? Right. And then there's that final set of like, hey, these are for your overachiever, right?
But the thing is, we don't even necessarily do that for everybody. Each person is so different. Some people have kind of already done the legwork and they're just ready to go. But at least by contacting us early, that's something that's available, that if you aren't even sure where in the world to start, having a realtor to talk to and then getting one of these punch lists so that way you can prioritize, because believe it or not, some people think that something is a lot more of a concern than it really is.
Right, exactly. So, the first thing I would say for prepping for photo day, everyone understands it's the cleaning and the decluttering.
That's the biggest thing.
It's the biggest thing. We're going through room by room and we're talking about, hey, these are the pictures. If you have a lot of pictures of family and that up, maybe depersonalize the room a little bit. It's always the refrigerator with the pictures on the refrigerator,
Right.
taking those off.
But you don't have to go crazy, right? We've had people that had all these family photos up the stairway, right? They took them down and now the paint behind everything's faded and it looks stranger with them not there, right?
Right. Yeah. We go by the adage of usually less is more, right?
Yeah.
Where it's the things you can do, but sometimes you don't have to do it. And sometimes you're creating a problem that you didn't have before, such as what you just said.
Yeah. Yeah. So don't create new problems. But if by the fireplace or a bureau happens to have, a lot of picture frames lined up, those don't need to be there. Just, less is best because people want to be able to see the house. And sometimes it's hard to see through the clutter.
Yeah. They want to envision themselves in the house, right?
And some of these things, not as important once people are coming for showings, but everybody analyzes the photos. So some of those little details really makes a difference.
Right. Yeah. And if we're going like one of the rooms that we tend to talk the most about when we're with people is kitchens.
Right.
Right.
'Cause they're so important.
It's so important. It's, taking the things off the countertop so you can see the nice quartz or granite countertops.
Right.
Right.
Because it can feel small if the toaster is there and the coffee maker
And the air fryer.
and the toaster oven and like all of these things, like get it off. Like usually everybody leaves the coffee maker, right? But even something as simple as the hand towel over the oven, like that looks beautiful and fine and nice. And for a showing, it's not a big deal. But when people are looking at the photos, it's kind of blocking half of the oven. Right. So you definitely want to take off any of the hand towels that you have.
Exactly. Same thing with like the garbage can. Put that in the pantry or put it out in the garage so you can get a idea of the size of the room.
Why those places?
Okay, that's a good thing. So to just de-stress people, we do not take photos inside garages unless it is this amazing garage with like a workstation and a lift, and there's like a reason specifically to take a photo of the garage.
99% of the time, the garage is the safe space.
Right. We don't take photos inside pantries. We don't take photos inside closets.
Again, unless there's something special about yours, right?
Right. Like a nice walk-in closet with a custom California closet system, we may take a photo of it, right?
Right.
But for the most part, we're not taking photography of closets, of pantries. Now, you want to get those cleaned up for showings, but if you're getting photos done, don't have to worry about it as much. Right.
But yes, so those would be more important in terms of for showings. But the neat part is, even though your pantry is big and it's beautiful and it's wonderful, you're very proud of it, or same thing with your closet, that's okay to not have it pictured. Because when someone's walking through, when there's nice surprises, boy, does that do good things. Of like, oh, I didn't even know about this.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
The pleasant surprise, right?
Yes, the pleasant surprise is definitely helpful on the sales side.
And while we're talking about kitchens, this goes for all areas of the house, but kitchens usually have a lot of lighting. Right?
Yes.
You got recessed lighting, you have under cabinet lighting. There's a lot of things going on.
Sometimes skylights.
But my tip of the day, your light bulbs need to match.
Yes.
You would not believe, you have your bathroom and you replace one of the light bulbs and the light bulb goes out and you're like, what do I have at the house? And I just throw it in there. Not a big deal when you're living there, right? Mm-hmm. But that little bit difference between a 60-watt light bulb and a 40-watt light bulb right next to each other makes a huge difference in the photos. Or if one is a soft white and the other one is, a bright
white.
You see the difference. You want to make sure that it's uniform within a room. Right? A uniform, and if it's an open concept, it needs to be uniform within that open area in terms of the type of light bulb you have in there, because it makes a huge difference on the photos.
And I know that it sounds so silly and so crazy. And that's something that people don't think of. Whereas other things, they think that they need to replace flooring or they need to replace this or that. And in some cases, maybe it needs that. But it's interesting because it's really more some of those small details that make the biggest
Well,
difference.
in the case is that, you know, we've been to one before where they had a light bulb out and they didn't have any light bulbs. And our photographer's great because we'll be like, okay, we're taking the light bulb out of this room. We're going to put it there for now. They're going to take the shot. Okay, now we're going to move the light bulb over there to take this shot.
Yeah.
And they're going to get a light bulb for when showings happen in that. But that way we're able to take care of that.
Yes,
Right?
yes, exactly. Yeah, because sometimes
A little
it
bit
burns
more
out
hands-on.
the day of, right?
Right.
So that's something that happens. But kitchens especially, yeah, people are really looking at kitchens. And so, you know, in terms of updating, sometimes people will ask us, like, oh, do I need to update this or that? For the most part, big updates not needed. But take a look to that kitchen area. If you're not listing yet, but you want to list in a couple of years, you want to do, you know, one home improvement, that probably would be the one room to focus on.
But if you're looking at photo day,
Yes.
and we're saying to somebody, hey, they're asking, what do I do to prep? You know, the big things are inside the house. It's the decluttering.
Yes.
It's the cleaning. It's making sure that your light bulbs match.
Right.
It's making sure that if you have a pet,
Oh, yes.
you're removing evidence of the pets for the photos.
Yes. So this is a really important one. And it's crazy because some people are very averse to a house with an animal in it.
Yeah. And you know, the interesting thing is there's people that are averse to dogs. There's people that are averse to cats. But if someone has a cat allergy, if they see evidence of cats in the pictures, sometimes in their mind, they will eliminate that house before they even go through it, even though they know the cat is leaving.
Right. Well, and, you know, in terms of a public service announcement, some pet owners are different than others. So a house with a cat in it, when it's well maintained, when it's kept clean, and that's very different than one that isn't.
Right.
And it's not something that we can sort with a filter or even know, but basically those buyers are the ones that completely, you know, will disqualify a home just because of that. So that's the last thing we want to see in the photo. So no cat climbers and no dog dishes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just put those away for the photos. It's okay if some of that is out for showings, but for the photos, you're removing it. And my also PSA in terms of pets, I know people will get their carpets cleaned and prepped for photo day.
Right.
If you have pets and you're getting your carpet cleaned, make sure you're cleaning that carpet a good week before showings start. Yeah. Because when you clean a carpet, in that 24 to 36 hours after the carpet's cleaned,
not all the time,
but
sometimes
the scents come out into the air.
Yes.
Because all that dander and everything is getting pulled up, and it's in the air for a couple days sometimes.
Yes.
Even though it's gone, you want to make sure there's a time period to air the house out.
Right. And I've heard where some agents didn't advise their people, and here they got the carpets cleaned the day before the showings and the first round of showings.
Right, because sometimes getting carpet cleaning done before photos is a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, you got some old stains in the carpet, you know, those sorts of things. The other thing I would say when we're prepping for a house, sometimes we have people move furniture.
Oh,
right.
Good point. Mm-hmm.
So we've gone into houses before, or I've seen pictures before where a homeowner had a fireplace, but they never used it.
Right.
They're like, we don't care that we have a fireplace. They put a couch right in front of it.
Yes.
Right? Because it works for their lifestyle.
Yes.
But when you're selling the house, we want to highlight the fact that there's a fireplace.
Yes. That's a selling feature.
It is. So we may move furniture for you for the photos and for the showings to highlight aspects of the house that will appeal to buyers. Right? But if you go to move your furniture the day before a photos, you're going to have big, huge lines in the carpet where the furniture used to be. So it's one of those things to prep in a little bit for. And for people that didn't know, you can put an ice cube in the indentation where where like a desk was or something.
Yeah, or the couch.
Or the couch.
Whatever
when the ice cube melts, it'll pull that carpet up right there.
Right. Yeah, it fluffs.
So it fluffs it. So that's a nice thing to know as well.
Good feature. And I've also, not just the fireplaces, although we've seen that many times, sometimes big, beautiful picture windows.
Yes. They put a couch right in front of it.
Yes, exactly. Right? Or dresser. Because it's a small room, right? And so that kind of advertises that it's a small room. So certainly positioning those things.
Yeah, we're there to help you highlight the amazing aspects of your house. Today's episode of the Welcome to Livingston podcast is brought to you by our valued sponsor, Jim Paquette with Lake Michigan Credit Union. He is a trusted mortgage lender who has lived and worked in our community for many years. Jim Paquette is dedicated to helping our neighbors achieve their homeownership dreams and is proud to support the local businesses that make our area special. Now let's dive back into the stories of the incredible entrepreneurs we are featuring today.
We keep saying decluttering. Can you define decluttering?
Really good question.
Yes.
Different for everybody, right?
It is.
You don't want to remove everything. I like to think of it kind of as Pottery Barn or some kind of catalog, right?
Yeah, like you're living in a magazine.
Yeah, where there's a little bit of stuff there, but it's not a ton of stuff.
Right, it's tasteful.
It's tasteful. Because if you remove everything, then it has the opposite effect. It's blank.
Yeah.
Right? Where having little things is good. A little bit of color.
Just a little bit. Well, and in some cases, blank isn't bad either because if you can see the items, but sometimes people just maybe empty out a room or something like that.
Right. Yeah. We've told people to declutter before and we come in and it's just a bed.
Yes.
We're like, wow. Okay. That's,
Yeah.
It's.
But the pie. Okay. So spoiler alert, just for everybody out there, people live in their houses. And it blows my mind, all the sellers that we talk to, that they're embarrassed, they're ashamed. They're like, oh my gosh, my house isn't perfect. It's not show ready yet. And it's like nobody's houses. Like we, as realtors, we see it all. Houses are meant to be lived in. And that's okay to have a big stack of junk mail and paperwork and anything there, or just all your little bric-a-brac around. Like that's 95% of people. That's a very common thing.
Right.
And so that's what you're combating against.
You're decluttering that stuff for photo day.
Yes.
Think of it in terms of you're going to be hosting a party at your house, right?
Yes, company clean.
Company clean is what we're looking for, right?
Yep.
You can't stuff and hide like you do in that though, because we're going to go into the bedrooms and take photos. But it's that same thing. And we're talking a lot about the inside of the house.
Yeah.
Talking about the outside of the house, it's the same thing. It's, mow your lawn.
Yes,
maybe freshen up the mulch a little bit.
Yeah.
Take care of the cobwebs that you get between the banisters and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Make sure your umbrella's opened up.
Yes.
Make sure the cover's off of your grill.
Mm-hmm.
You're highlighting the parts of your house that are amazing.
Yes.
Right?
Sometimes a hanging basket is nice.
Right.
Or, in terms of overachievers, some nice flowers up front.
Well, speaking of flowers, we have a good example of that, right?
Yes.
So we had a client that had a beautiful Victorian in downtown Howell.
Yes.
They'd been in the house for like 40 years. One of the ones with all the different colors of the paint and everything. And we were talking to them in the spring about when they wanted to sell. And sometimes we do photos early. We do photos early for people for a number of reasons that we can talk about in a minute, right? Yeah. But in this case, she had beautiful gardens.
Yes.
That, she had all these different annuals and perennials and everything. And she told us, she said, I know when my yard is going to be the most beautiful when the different colors come up. So I'm going to call you. And when I call you, I need your photographer here within 48 hours.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be the window.
This is the moment.
This is right. We've been waiting for this.
Yes.
Right. So we understand that your house better than we know your house.
Right.
And sometimes there's those aspects where, hey, this is when this flower comes up. We want you to be here for the photos for that.
Or more foliage.
Foliage.
Foliage. Because maybe once it's wintertime and you're looking straight through to the neighbors and you're not liking what you see. That's something to be aware of. Or even in terms of muddy streets and dirt roads and some of that.
Yeah.
Like timing does factor in.
Timing does matter. Now, what I will say is don't worry about timing of the day for the photos. Sometimes it's a little bit of aspect, but we have an amazing photographer that has amazing equipment that, I like to say that the sun is always shining and there's always a fire in your fireplace because they make it happen.
Editing at the backside. Yep.
They do amazing twilight photos where your windows are lit up and everything. So it's a sunset view because they're able to do that in post-production. So we don't have to come at that time. They're not changing your house at all. It's not like they're editing and putting grass in or anything like that. But, if it's amazing that one of the best photos I saw is we came out and it was raining. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's raining. It's a horrible day. And he's like, don't worry about it at all. It's not so much rain that we're not going to be able to take care of this. And you know, the photos come out amazing.
Beautiful.
Right.
Yeah. Sunny as can be.
You would never have known.
I think there was like some wispy clouds. Like it was gorgeous.
Right.
So that makes it really nice. But to get back to in terms of timing and so forth,
Yes.
because sometimes someone, and it's not unusual for people to talk to us early. The earlier you talk to us, the better off it is. We don't have to wait till right when you're ready to list, right? Or whatever realtor you use, you know, just get the information you need and be prepared. And that's really the core of it there. But sometimes someone isn't going to sell their house till they find what they're looking for and they don't know when that's going to be. So it might be in the dead of winter, right? So what we tend to do with our clients is we talk to them early about photo day because they're excited, they're getting ready, the house is ready to go anyway. May as well go through and bring the photographer in, especially, well, and as a good example, we had clients that had a beautiful swimming pool.
Right.
And they were going to be shutting the pool down. And so we came out and we did the whole photo shoot. And then they kind of put a pin in it and they decided not to move for another 2 or 3 years. But once they were ready, sure as anything, it was probably February,
It was
March.
February.
Yeah.
The pool was not open. Well, couldn't have been opened yet.
Yes.
But we had pool photos.
Yes, we did. And so, boy, oh boy, they had multiple offers and definitely received more money in the end because of us being prepared and thinking ahead and having those photos that tell the story.
Right. And, you know, I mean, if you have a farm and you have a lot of acreage and you have like amazing deer stands that are going to be staying that you've built, our guy will go take a walk and take some photos. We've had him take a drone video down a trail.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, if you're waterfront, obviously when you want to get the photos done, you want to make sure to get summer photos.
Yes.
You know, you want to get photos when your lift is in that you're having go with the house for the boat. So, you know, we're able to do that. And then, you know, we sit on the photos and that's no charge to the seller. That's part of our marketing that we do, right? So we're prepping. So when the time comes that you're listing the house, we're ready.
So if you can be prepared, then that's great. But even if it is the dead of winter, he does those too, and he does a great job. And but it really makes a difference. It's interesting because if a house doesn't sell and they had the winter photos and then, you know, at some point it's April, it's May, and those are still sitting out there, like that is just bad news. So at least for us, if, you know, it's that situation and the seasons start to change, then we do have our photographer come back out if needed in terms of the seasonality.
Yeah, freshen it up, right? Make sure that the accurate photos.
Right. More times than not, we sell it quicker than that. We don't need to worry about it, but there's always a plan for no matter what happens.
Right. You know, and one of the things I would say, because we were talking about a little bit about the difference between a person coming with their iPhone and a professional photographer.
Right.
One of the great things about the professional photographer is, one, they do this all the time. So they have the right equipment. They're getting the right angles. They're able to get a wider shot than we could ever get on our phones. Right. But one of the nice things they do is they're taking each shot at different exposures and then they're layering those shots in the lab and they're taking the shadows out. Yeah. Right. So that's why when you're looking at pictures, sometimes you're like, why does this house's pictures pop? And the next house I look at, they look dull and they don't. Even though the angles may be the same, I'm not saying that our photos aren't good photos. They can be very good photos, right? Yeah. But there's something about the ones that have that post-production where they're able to layer the shots and they're able to, the lines are so crisp.
Right.
It's like you're really seeing it.
Yes. And those really stand out. And I'd like to point out, you know, sometimes if you do have something else in the picture, we had one with this beautiful gazebo as we were clicking through. We were looking for a buyer. And I saw this little teddy bear family and it was all on the table like, oh, that's so cute. Click, click, click. And you were looking at it too. And that's like, wait a minute. Was that a gazebo there? Like, hold on. So we, you know, pulled it back and here we couldn't even see the beauty of the house over
Right. So, I mean,
definitely the way.
and sometimes it's all about what tasteful things you want versus what you don't want.
That's
right?
true, because a teddy bear in the corner,
Right.
that's fine.
And if you're a homeowner and you specifically don't want something photoed,
Photographed, yeah.
you
That
just let
happens.
us know what happens, and then we avoid that.
Right.
Right. Our guy also takes video. So there's a video walkthrough of the entire house.
Now, why is that important?
You know, it's important because in this day and age, there's so often that you have out of state people or out of area people or someone that has a mobility issue,
Right.
right? They're able to get a sense of the home by watching the video walkthrough of the house.
Right.
Right.
Really helps.
It really helps. You know, we also have floor plans that they're going to do day of. So they're going to put a floor plan up of your house with measurements on it and everything. So that way it's all about giving a potential buyer the truest idea and the most information to be able to do it. Right.
Right. For them to come out and fall in love with your house beforehand. Because the wild part is our photographer does take so many photos, but at the point where we list it,
we don't use all of them.
We don't. And Don meticulously, takes it through the house of okay. And again, each realtor has their own process, but we make sure to show just the very best one, and we tell a story with them.
Right.
Because
what just really irritates me sometimes is when I go to look at photos of an art listing and they have 99 photos.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, it was a
too much.
2,500 square foot house. How do I have 99 photos that I have to try to get through?
Well,
right.
And for some of the buyers we've represented, it's interesting because it's some of the houses that they've been able to get a good deal on or didn't have multiple offers winds up, as we click through, we noticed the best photos the realtor put in the back.
Yeah, they were buried.
Maybe it was the basement is phenomenal, or the view from behind the home, or any number of things. And it's like, wow, we would have put that right up front because that's a whole reason to purchase this house.
Right.
Even waterfront. If
exactly.
you're clicking through and
so there is a method to the madness, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all about being able to get the right aspects, but for the homeowner that's getting preparing for the professional photos, one, there's no such thing as a bad question.
Right. Yeah. If you don't know, just ask.
Ask away. We're going to give you the best advice we can. Our photographer does an amazing job day of for hey, let's maybe move this here. Let's get this out of the picture. Those sorts of things, right? To be able to take care of those aspects, to highlight it in the best way, to show the right features, all of those things. It's a great experience photo day.
Yeah.
Nice. And usually the homeowner has put in a lot of work to get ready for that day.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Right? And in some cases, people have lived in their homes for a really long time. And it's nice to have those pictures of how it looked right then and there.
Right.
And we've had cases where we've given people the photos on a flash drive, so that way they have those as a memento forever.
Oh, one of the things I would mention, if you have kids, involve them in the process.
Definitely.
Let them clean their own room. It's okay for you to come in and take care of a few things here and there and all that kind of stuff. But if there's one thing I've learned, if you can involve your kids in the process while you're going to list the house and sell the house, you're going to have a bigger buy-in for them in moving everything and moving it to the next house, right? This is their chance to
be involved in the
process. And if you're like, hey, we want to get your room ready for pictures so other people can see the amazing aspects of your room. I've gone into these rooms and it's the shelves look perfect and there's the Legos that they spent so much time putting together and everything. What a great experience for them to feel important. Right. So it's involving everyone in the process. It's just getting that buy-in.
Right. Some people have so much stuff. While it's not the norm, if it makes the most sense, we have had clients get storage units to be able to remove stuff from the home.
We've had clients do an estate sale and then us coming afterwards.
Yep. That's true.
We have taken photos of someone's house knowing that we're not going to list the house till after they move out.
Right.
But having those photos before all the furniture's gone.
Yes.
And then...
Because it is nicer than an empty home, but we can still photograph an empty home as well.
We
too.
can.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing I would give as a tip, and I know I've talked about it on another podcast, if you have nicks in the walls that you're taking care of, if it's like, hey, I need to do some touch-up paint, right? The best tip I had, if you can get a chip of your paint, you can take it to Home Depot or Lowe's, they'll put it under the scanner, and then you can get a small quarter, you can get a sample of that paint. Because you may have paint in the basement that is that color.
The original color.
Right? But your wall isn't that color anymore. It has been through years of sun and, you know, everything else.
Fading it. Yeah.
It's faded. So now you want to touch up with the current color because there's nothing worse than pulling out that old paint and putting it in it. And then the next day you're like, oh my God, what did I just do? Now I have to paint the whole wall.
I remember this poor family. They kept doing it. I don't know what it was. They never quite liked it, but they repainted the same wall like 4 different times of like, oh my goodness, that whatever they did, it just wasn't what they liked. And so every time we came over, it was a different color. It was like, oh my goodness.
Well, the other thing is remember, if you have a certain thing that like you want to take care of later, we can avoid taking a picture of it right now. Right.
That's
we
fine.
can get a different angle. So you have that time and leisure to repair it yourself.
In some cases, people are still working inside. You know, it's not the ideal, but sometimes we take those exterior photos first separately and we pull them back in together once the inside is done.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's an option as well.
It what works best for the client, right?
Yes, because everybody's so different.
Our job is to make this as easy for our potential clients as possible.
Right. And if you're going to be moving, you're going to need to pack anyway, right? So you may as well start getting started, getting rid of stuff, starting to pack stuff up to make sure that, and again, things aren't in the closets. So if you need to set something there, that's always good too. But you really want it to be just the absolute best company clean you can, and less is best.
Less is best, right? And the other thing I would say is timing-wise, because people ask about timing all the time. I'll have someone call me up and say, okay, how I want to do the photos in a week and a half. Do we have enough time? Right? I'll be like, yeah, that's not a problem. You give me 48, 72 hours, I can usually get the photographer scheduled.
Yeah, I had someone not too long ago say, oh my gosh, can you get them tomorrow? I'm like, I can't get them tomorrow. But,
right. 2 days notice, usually not a problem, right?
Depends. I really try to aim for a week if I can, but it depends on the time of year and what's going on.
Right.
So it never hurts to ask. How about that?
That's right. Like I said, there's never a bad question, right?
Yes. I love questions. Just text them. Because this is something that these sellers don't do every day, right? And in some cases, maybe never have, right?
Yep.
And the world kind of expects you to know how it works to sell your house,
right?
But that's not the case.
It is a good idea for you to be there as the homeowner on photo day. Yeah. You don't have to be. But it's a good idea to be there. And we don't have this issue, but I've had this issue when I've gone and looked at pictures of listings and then gone to an issue. If you are on acreage, please let your agent and the photographer know where the lot lines are. There's nothing worse than going to look at pictures of a house and acreage, and then the photographer takes a photo of something because it's really nice, and they're like, oh, I want to highlight this aspect.
Right.
And no one ever asked. Right. So then
look at the shed. This is a great shed.
Right. And the shed's the neighbor's shed.
Yes. That's a problem. That's
so you want to make sure to say, hey, this is where the lot line is. This is my yard. This is his yard or her yard.
Right.
To make sure that we're taking photos of the right things. Now, for me and you, I always ask.
Yes.
We're hands-on. We educate more than most agents, right?
Yeah.
There are agents out there that don't come with a photographer.
But some do.
Some
there's
do.
A lot of different agents out there. We can only speak to what we do, but at least it offers a lot of advice.
It does.
How that all goes. You are going to need to remove your cars from the driveway the day of photo day as well.
Yep. You want to make sure that it's a clean look for those outdoor photos and for those drone shots.
Yeah.
Right.
In drone, we didn't really mention that on photo day, in a lot of cases, to get beautiful aerial photos that requires a drone, which our photographer does
Yes,
do as
and
well.
so my other advice on that, it doesn't happen often, but it will happen in the spring. If I'm getting drone shots of a house, and then we see those drone shots, and there's a bunch of dead tree branches and everything on the roof, that's an issue. So if we're going out in the spring and we're talking to someone about the drone shots, I may tell someone, hey, if you can, it'd be great to get up there and get those off the roof because we're going to be doing drone shots and they're going to see that.
Right.
Right. So it's those little things, again, that we'll give you a list and we'll sit down and talk to you about it. And to Angela's point, every house is different and every photo shoot is unique to that house because a house has unique aspects.
Right. And we are there with the photographer with you on photo day. And it's a big moment. It's exciting. Usually people have worked very hard, particularly the day before and the week before.
Yep. And we'll do community photos as well. So if you're in a subdivision that has a subdivision pool
or a beach or golf course or, any number of things, there's different neighborhoods with different amenities.
And we make sure to capture those amenities as well.
Right. Because that ultimately helps us sell the home.
Yeah.
So those are all things that are important not to forget.
Yeah.
So especially, let your realtor know if you have amenities in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are not far from water or not far from downtown, and those aerial shots really can show some fantastic things.
Right. Or they have a launch access or a beach access. And, we need to know where that is.
Right, exactly. And drone might not be, the thing for everybody, but it's nice to have that.
Yeah. So to that point, very quickly, there's sometimes you don't want drone shots. If you're like in a tight subdivision and everything's really close to each other, as your agent, I might say, hey, we may not want to do drone shots because, standing here on the ground, it doesn't feel that you're that tight to people. But if I take a shot from 100 feet up,
that's going to look tough.
It's going to look tough. And now I'm highlighting an aspect that maybe I didn't want to highlight, or I'm showing it in a different light because it's not like you're ever going to be 100 feet above. You're living on the ground.
Yes.
So let's...
Or in some cases, there's industrial and commercial close by that maybe people might take issue with. So, it really is a case-by-case basis, but your house, you've lived there, you've had so many wonderful memories there, and now it's a matter of making it look its best.
Right.
To be able to show it off so that way the next person that wants to purchase it, this is your opportunity to help them fall in love with it before they ever set foot there.
Right. And whoever your agent is, we'd love it if it was us, but whoever your agent is going to help you walk through that process.
Right.
And is going to give you good advice for making sure that you can get the best pictures possible. And your photographer should be giving good advice as well to make sure that we're able to highlight the right things.
Show the home.
Like
I said, with, that kind of...
dating app?
kind of like that. Like if you think of it as that way, this is your chance to put your house's best foot forward. And you want people to picture themselves in it. So hopefully depersonalize what you can, but don't kill yourself over it either, because people's homes are very personal.
Exactly. And give us a call. We'd love to give some advice.
Yes.
We love sitting down, talking with people, and sometimes it's not your time to move, and we've talked people out of moving.
Yeah.
But it's all about sitting down and having a candid conversation and then helping you through the process to get to that. And photo day is fun, and photo day does not have to be stressful. And sometimes it's a wonderful thing to get out of the way because then you're like,
feels good. It's like,
that's
done.
Your
house
now
is beautiful.
Now I can start packing. Now I don't have to worry about it for a while.
Yeah,
exactly. I don't need to have it picture perfect 24 hours a day.
And even as showings start, nothing's like photo day. Photo day is the best.
Exactly. So. Cool. Well, I think we hit all the aspects we wanted to talk about, right?
I feel good about that. So hopefully you've gleaned something from this. It's been helpful, useful, so forth. But lean on your agent. Your agent is knowledgeable, and they can personalize the experience to what you need for your home.
Yep. Because again, every house is different, And the package that we're going to put together in terms of what kinds of photos is going to be different because it's going to highlight your house in a different way.
Yeah. And that's
Right?
what it
So
needs.
trust the professionals.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for taking the time today. I know this was more real estate than we get into, but once in a while it's kind of helpful and useful, and even for those not moving yet, if hopefully got some interesting information for someday when you are, to know what to expect out of that experience.
Yes. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks.
And
And welcome to Livingston.